do you flavor mountains or sea? Whether mountains or sea, the moment you open your eyes, the world had already chosen your place. The wind caresses the sea's surface, carrying wet salts as if gently stirring memories long forgotten. The ridges behind your back hold you like a silent guardian, ever present. Each man is an individual possessing independent consciousness, breath, and romance. And yet, you are an island without a name, without borders, and not marked on the map. In ancient legends, islands were not created by anyone, but fragments the world forgotten to reclaim, or a last breath after the sky and earth collided, crushing into bone by the weight of mountains, filling with blood by the flow of sea. You remain standing, solitary and complete, like the world's initial secret. The mountains and the sea remind you where you came from and where you must go. Yet, the significance of an isolated island has never been to be seen, but you face the overwhelming weight before all others. The water level rises, too slowly one might almost mistake it for nothing happening. Before the tides, every inch of land bears an unbearable lightness. Your edges shift, your shape fades. The ridge still stands behind you, yet you can no longer lean upon it. At last, you understand, an island is not truly a landscape, but a fate, a solitary confrontation with mountains and sea that inevitably submersion. Vanishing and existing have never been so different. The seabed is brighter than you imagined. The shimmer is memory's reflection. As you attempt to uncover the sea's secret, you realize it is the humanity's oldest story. You try to picture the humpback's whales as departed souls, those who vanish with regrets, with thoughts, with names left unspoken, with lives never recorded, all becoming whales after death. You see them gliding through the deep, slow enough to resemble time itself. The backs arc slightly, as if bearing a history too heavy to carry. Some say they are blind storytellers with peapods on the back, chanting in the sea of time forgotten by the world. Once transformed into a well, all unspoken word are remembered by the sea. Those abandoned by their times, swallowed by history, left behind stories with no traces, become part of the sea. Some say the departed become stars, but that is only a beautiful constellation. The true departed disappear in the crustal movement, until one day they become those who no longer mourned, no longer remembered. Stars, the god's tier, are individual with sorrows and contemplations, and the sea is the place that holds all mourns. Those who carry memories shall eventually fall. They descend into the abyss, their flesh becoming nourishment, their thoughts flowing into currents, their memories drifting like scattered rays of light beneath the wave. Death is not an end, but another form of pabulum. Within the flow of information, existence is the generous background signal, quietly sustaining the world's operation. All beings in this world harbors gods within. Gods dwell in the stones, in the trees, in the wind, in the rain, in the deep sea. The divine presence is everywhere. Humans only return to the domain of God at the end of their lives, becoming the silver of light that may be heard, remembered. Thus, fireworks were never meant for celebration, but were offerings to the gods. People sealed their fears, gratitude, regrets, and hopes into small capsules of gunpowder with an intense light you crack open the fissure between sky and earth, proclaiming to the gods, Here's a life worthy of your gaze. As the fireworks gathered, they revealed an ancient form. Even the same exploration sometimes signifies a beginning, sometimes a farewell. The meaning lay not in the sound itself, but in whether anyone will mourn for that sound. Just as the fireworks bloomed, the well's immense body began to sink slowly. For the gods, it was the vessels of the divine spirit. The Shinto verses state, Only those who may be mourned shall endure. The nameless departed, the unwept memories, the forgotten souls, drifting in the sea, become part of the tide, and the finest yet persistent signal within the flow of information. Waterfall is the final blessing bestowed by the gods. They leave once forgotten, find a second form in the deep sea. Have you ever imagined what an ending truly is? Have you ever considered whether the apocalypse might also be a form of grace? Have you ever wondered what never truly means? Have you ever gazed upon death's visage? The gods never regard death as departure. They merely return life to all things, return to the cycle of the world. Ending is not vanishing. It is a way of being permitted by the gods. Do you think only the great are remembered? But the gods do not agree. They only ask, has this life ever been mourned? Petals drifting from the cherry blossoms. Each petal carries weighty light, becoming the shape of vanishing. The goddess of cherry blossom, fire and life, is also the most ancient breath of spring in Japan. Long ago, the sky deity entrusted two sisters to Niniki no Mikoto. One was the goddess of eternal rock, and the other was the goddess of beautiful cherry blossom. Had he chosen the goddess of rock, humankind would have lived immortal as stone. Had he chosen the goddess of cherry blossom, humankind would have lived shortly like cherry blossom. Yet, he rejected the goddess of rock, choosing instead the goddess of cherry blossom. But from that moment, humans were destined to live only as flowers, radiant, swift, fading, and falling. Every falling cherry blossom you see is the shadow of that myth. They descend so silently, as if whispering to you. Transience is not fragility. To be seen falling is to find fulfillment. In an even older tale, the word sakura originates from the combination of sake and kura, symbolizing the earth's bounty, the people's hope, and the soul's repose. Thus, each falling petal, which is you, is not an ending, but an offering returned to the earth. Each petal is a story, a life, a being, worthy of mourning. When the cherry blossoms meet the water, the surface holds them gently and mirrors a reflection. It performs an ancient text for the world. You, too, are embraced by it. You find yourself within the world woven from the countless tiny endings, and you becoming one among them. Begin to loosen, becoming the undecided shape of souls. Ending has never been the direction you imagined. You suppose an ending is a thunderous crash. However, it is a series of dissolution happening quietly before sorrow has time to take hold. Each day, you end something, a sentence, a thought, a relationship, a dream. The vanishing of trifling details, is not about death, but becoming. Ending is not an apocalypse, but a way to approach yourself